The reason it's so hard for us to speak up against abuse when we're dealing with a narcissist is because we're empaths. As empaths, we feel other people's emotions. We feel their positive and their negative energy. This is how we connect to people. So with a narcissist, we feel their pain. We see it. But unfortunately, they're predators. And because of that, they are highly skilled at identifying that we are loving and nurturing people. So they use it to their advantage. Especially when you're dealing with a covert narcissist. In my opinion, because I'm not a therapist, I dated a covert narcissist for 10 years. He's a professional, a highly skilled, medically trained firefighter of nearly 30 or over 30 years. He saves lives publicly while destroying them slowly and brutally privately. In my opinion, covert narcissists, because of their ability to transform from being the local hero, the best all-around kind of person, to being a very malignant person, to being a needy, broken, victimized person, to keep you confused, emotionally broken, while keeping everyone around them completely oblivious to the abuse that they inflict on their partner. These people are the most toxic, the most dangerous, because you never know what you're getting. You're proud, ashamed, and emotionally broken all at the same time. You don't even realize that you're being abused. They never consider it abuse, but it is abuse. It's psychological abuse. They are such insecure people that they have to suppress you. They have to make you inferior to them in order for them to inflate themselves. By the time you realize that you are in a relationship with an abusive person, you're so trauma bonded by then that you just begin to disassociate. Or at least I did. Meanwhile, you're still trying to help this person heal. Not yourself, your abuser. You are trying desperately to show them how much you love them. They know how much you love them. That's why you're still around. You are still defending them and protecting them because you truly believe that there is hope for this eternally abusive piece of shit. There is no hope for them. They were like this before you. They are like this with you. And they're going to be like this after you with the next person, which, by the way, they already had that person while they were with you. That's the safety net. You were a safety net. We're all safety nets. The best thing you can do early on when you realize what you're dealing with is get out. Move on. Block them. Never speak to them again. Don't ever give them access to you again when you first realize what you're dealing with. I never intended on sharing my story. I was so humiliated for allowing this asshole to treat me so poorly, for allowing him to take advantage of how much I loved him, for allowing him to convince me that there was something wrong with me, and that was why he hit me and cheated on me so much. So on August the 8th of this year of 2023, when the woman from Eagle Pass contacted me to let me know that they'd been having an affair since July of last year, or 2022, they were supposed to be married in late March, early April of this year. I didn't discard him until July 19th of this year. Plus the 2 affairs that came out in November of last year, 2022, the countless affairs he's had throughout the years, the domestic violence, all the psychological abuse. I finally decided it was time for me to put all that shame behind me and to start sharing my story. Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with you. There was nothing wrong with me. He used to tell me all the time, you think you're so fucking perfect. Nobody knows what a fucking bitch you are. It would devastate me because nobody else in my life talks to me that way. Nobody mistreats me in that way in my life. Let me tell you something else. I was such a fucking bitch to this person, or fucking CUNT, because that's how they refer to women in the club that he's in, that I never pressed charges for the aggravated assault. I never pressed charges for the battery, for the stalking. I did nearly all of his online classes so that he could have an associate's in fire science. I kept all the cheating to myself, all the verbal abuse to myself, all the physical abuse to myself. I was a real fucking bitch. Because of so much chronic abuse, I tried committing suicide twice in the last 10 years while I was with him. He knew how broken he had me. He knew how vulnerable I was. He knew how much I loved him, and he used it to his advantage. He would love bomb me so sweetly, gaslight me so covertly. He knew exactly how to manipulate me, to keep me right there in his clutches, to keep getting from me what he needed, my love. So on August the 8th, when that woman reached out to me to let me know what was going on, I was so sickened by this person because on top of her, there was 2 affairs in November and the countless affairs throughout the years, the physical abuse, the psychological abuse. I finally was at the point where I'm so sickened by this person. He is a monster, a predator, an insatiable, insecure, disgusting human being. I still cannot fathom how people are so vile that they would use something like someone loving them to be able to inflate themselves and not care about what it's doing to the person that they're abusing. If you're experiencing anything like this, you need to get out. Tell your family, tell your friends, form a support group. You're going to need it. There are lots of narcissistic recovery groups online. Join them, get therapy, do whatever you have to do to help yourself get away from this person. It is not worth it. You will waste your life away on someone who isn't going to change. The mask doesn't stay on forever. I promise you. They'll do damage control if you out them. It's actually pretty entertaining, but that mask only stays on for a little bit. It eventually comes off. I guarantee you'll be better off. I'm praying for you to make a plan and get out. Please keep praying for me.